there's always like a few seconds that it doesn't actually get.
That little delay.
Yeah, and so, yeah, okay, so it's working now. I'm just waiting for people to trickle in for a second. Now, usually we have like a comment or two by now, but this is like an easy thing for Spider-Man to cut. So once, yeah, and we should verbalize maybe like when we are like officially ending segments, because I think that'll be helpful to him too. And helpful to us, like that way the other person knows. Yeah, I guess the guy on the right is such like just okay.
Let's see here.
People aren't checking their
notes yet.
Their TikTok, no, their TikTok DMs. I DM'd it like to at least half a dozen people. So
they all changed the systems live right now.
Oh, that's what's happening. Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Well, we can just it'll be less distracting then. We can just get started.
Facts.
Okay, everyone, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. Matt, you want to talk about Bezos and his ridiculous rocket?
Yeah, let's talk about Bezos and his ridiculous rocket. So I was just ranting about that a few minutes ago. I just want to give some numbers real quick that just like I think are important. 20.9% of U.S. children are in poverty. I think it's 3.4 billion people across the world live on less than $5.50 a day. Like we keep talking about, tens of millions of Americans just in this last year slipped or at risk of slipping into poverty, lost their jobs, lost their health insurance. And so with this going on, the backdrop of all this, Jeff Bezos and a few millionaires decided they're going to market some space race, which has already been done. Like, it's not like we haven't been to space before. It's not like we haven't sent people like from a non-government entity into space before. So this is nothing new. And during the actual launch for Bezos, what was the amount that he made? There was like money going into this. There's people donating to a goddamn billionaire as he was in space, as he just mocked you for paying for all this. Not you, actually, yet the Amazon employees and Amazon workers. And remember, like the union push in Alabama, or was it Arkansas, somewhere down in the South? And we know some of the work conditions and things like that. And he literally mocked them. Like, and if he wasn't mocking them, then that was the most tone-deaf thing I've ever seen in my life. So I think I'll leave it there.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm going to just add some more numbers that I thought was interesting, because his net worth like just goes up as he just exists. And the flight, or whatever you want to call it, only lasted 10 minutes and 10 seconds. A lot of metaphors within this rocket and whatnot. With all due respect, Mr. Bezos. But to that point, they've broken down like how much he makes like per week, per day, to the second, right? And so I calculated it. And in the time that he did that trip, he made 1.4 million. His net worth potentially increased by 1.4 million. And when he was done, he did like I don't know what you call it, like a charity gesture, and gave away $200 million to two different recipients. One of them is Van Jones, who is technically a millionaire. He's not like an uber millionaire. And the other was a chef who's worth $50 million. But in his defense, he has like a nonprofit that's like feeding people. And in 24 hours, his net worth would have increased that $200 million.
This is not on the topic of Bezos, but this is on like people don't fucking math, they don't statistic, and they don't actually understand how big these numbers are. So let me give you two examples real quick. If you're to break this down to time, and I'm not gonna get this exactly right, but if you're to break this down to time, 1 million seconds, I believe, is gonna be like 31 days, something like that, about a month. 1 billion seconds is gonna be like 31 years and change. All right, so the difference between 1 million seconds and 1 billion seconds is a month to 3 decades. All right, now think about that in terms of money. All right, so to that end, You know how like one of those talking points was like Donald Trump's a billionaire who's going to give away his presidential salary. It's like that would be like someone with $100,000 giving away $15. Okay, so it means nothing, and you guys eat that shit up because you don't understand money.
That's my point exactly. Like his net worth increased, just in like he just existed for a day. So like it's like it'd be like if you just gave away a day's pay. Like maybe you called in sick or something. And like that's what that big gesture was. That's the best he could think to do, is to give two other millionaires $100 million each.
But that's how far removed from this shit he is.
Yeah. And
you just mute yourself?
Yeah, sorry. I didn't put this in the notes, but I looked it up last minute because I was curious. It's estimated that 25 billion could end hunger in America, right? And his net worth is gonna grow like 6+ billion. And so like in a few years, he could literally just end hunger in America. It wouldn't even be hard. He could do it now. Like he could just reduce. Oh yeah, he's worth over $200 billion. Like he could just.
The one caveat I'll give, it's not like he's sitting on like gold, right? It's not like it's like hard cash. It's like tied up in assets, stocks, things of that nature. But to your point, that's the way that's the way this like economy of ours works, right? It's like
a bank would leverage that in cold,
yes.
in cold hard cash for him for sure.
It's like that's why like this last year, right? So in the last year, again, was all those numbers I gave you just about like the U.S. system, right? Like we know what was happening on Main Street. We know how many small businesses closed. We know how many people are having a hard time. With that going on, we had record like numbers in Wall Street. Like, how's that not a glaring like just like maybe the way that we measure economic health doesn't actually measure economic health for the people, but just for the billionaires? Like, do you guys ever think about that? Because like their numbers look great and it sucks for us. Well, most of us. It's like right Main Street. So it's like, I don't know. If you don't get it now, you're probably not going to get it though. So.
Yeah, and he's not even he's like the only billionaire I did research on. But like there were multiple billionaires who like just went into space for the hell of it in a span of a week, while like the average American is like being threatened by the new variant and just economic collapse that an eventual looming lockdown will create.
To that end, no use, and check me on this. I believe about $4 trillion were injected into our economy. How much that went to the 1%? I think it's like 3.8, 3.9 trillion. So, fun stuff. That's not rampant wealth inequality at all. That sounds like a totally fair and equal and adequate distribution.
Yeah, sure. No use for names is our unofficial fact checker, in-house fact checker. And if you happen to be on TikTok, you should follow him because he needs less than 500 followers to reach 10K. And while you're over there, also follow Change the System.
You don't have to do that second part. If you'd like to just follow No Use for Names and stop there, that's okay.
I endorse that you follow both, and I'm not picking sides.
You should also follow Change the System, but I am picking sides. Can't help myself. Flipped a coin and it went his way. Nothing personal. But on that note, any thing you want to add to the Jeff Bezos is a shit stain segment?
No, I think we covered it. Yeah. Performative charity gesture was called Courage and Civility Award. So if anyone wants to look that up and see who the future recipients are, if they're just genuinely curious if it's more millionaires. He should do better. I encourage him to do better.
He can't. He's a parasite. End segment.
We don't have a bit where they're asking, let us know in the comments. So I'm just going to say that real quick. And then I think it'll be easy for Spider-Man to add that in. But yeah, guys, let us know what you thought about the billionaires going into space. And then you want to end on the strike, right? Sorry. Yeah, Spider-Man, that's the end of the segment. Because the next one is just going to be you and me just reading ridiculous things they said.
Just go ahead and you can read it. I'll rebuttal, and I'll let you conclude on this one then, and then we'll end it with the strike.
Okay. Okay, everyone, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. I'm pretty sure that some conservatives and right-leaning pundits recently changed their minds because this week alone, we had several quotes from key figures now advocating for the vaccine. So Mitch McConnell was quoted as saying, if there is anybody out there willing to listen, get vaccinated. You want me to read all of his quotes before you?
Yeah, let's hear all of them. I want to hear all these. I want to hear them all.
You want to hear everyone's quote?
I'll do it, though. I'll read through all these shit stains.
Okay.
Sean Hannity. Please take COVID seriously. I can't say it enough. Enough people have died. We don't need any more deaths. Research like crazy. Talk to your doctors, medical professionals you trust based on your unique medical history, your current medical conditions, and you and your doctor make a very important decision for you and your own safety. And it absolutely makes sense for many Americans to get vaccinated. I believe in science. I believe in the science of vaccination. Tucker Carlson. Here's a few quotes. There may well be profound benefits to the vaccine. My understanding is the vaccine does have benefits. It seems that various vaccines seem to lower the effects of the disease, make it less severe on people. He continued, they're less likely to go to the hospital for taking that. It makes complete sense. Theories on change. What are some of your theories on their change?
Why they changed their mind?
Yeah. Why do they no longer singing the same tune they were for a year and a half on masks, on social distancing, on vaccines, on public health, on the severity of this, on how it's like the flu, 99 point whatever percent, whatever numbers they were throwing out. There was so much shit. Why the change? What happened?
One word: capitalism.
Think so?
I think so. Yeah, because I don't think it's that they suddenly have compassion.
Expand on that.
Well, if we have to go into another lockdown, that hurts the economy. That's capitalism. Well, potentially, these are their words, not my words, we'll have reduced human capital stock because workers will pass away. And then also, I don't know what money is in the vaccines, but I'm like, someone's making money making the vaccines. So I'm not saying they're lobbying to push it out there, but
I think I buy all that with another huge one. Republicans are going to die in way bigger numbers when this next variant fully hits. And they know that.
It's like a voting strategy then,
their
too.
Fucking voting base is about to get eradicated. And they're like, oh, shit, that's a problem. Because, like, the young generation already doesn't like us. Yeah. Fucking myopic as fuck, you short-sighted motherfuckers. You killed your own constituents.
Yeah, and to that point, because I just think it's like disrespectful to not acknowledge like just the amount of horrificness that exists in COVID deaths, and like we're all getting desensitized to it. Like I keep coming across news stories where it's children and like children without pre-existing conditions, and like I know it's easy for us to like picture. Like you picture like the people who aren't getting vaccinated and you immediately picture like the insurrectionists, but like it's not. Like there's a lot of collateral innocent I don't want to say innocent damage, but yeah, the collateral damage is a lot of innocent people in this.
It is innocent because there's people who make the right choices still get caught up in this, right? There's people who had no decision-making power in this whatsoever, but I will be unapologetic. I do not give a shit myself. Going forward, if you're one of those people who is loud and proud and you're sharing of misinformation and disinformation and the pendulum swings back and hits you.
Now, and as cases are surging, do you predict another lockdown?
Yeah, I think so.
Especially like in the liberal and like mass mandates. Now, whether or not those will happen, and then they'll also bring back things like the where they can't evict people, or that they're paying back rent, or, the expanded unemployment. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in, especially like the states especially the red states. No offense to the civilians who live there, but the people in power there are making really poor decisions.
To put it charitably. No, I don't have like too much to add. That just because we've seen it play out in other countries already. We know what's coming. It's beyond our control now. How is the vaccine going to affect the 2022 elections? I hadn't really thought about that. Do you have a quick thought, Cheyanne?
Well, I mean, like, I'm not quite sure what the specific thing they're asking there is. Like, in other words, if are you going to take like an anti-vaccine stance to like try to get votes? Are you going to take a pro-vaccine stance to get votes? Because like at this point, like I think even the red governors and the senators inside, if McConnell is telling everyone to get vaccinated, then yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like people will just kind of follow along because I feel like that's what they've been doing all along. I don't think anyone's going to suddenly be like, nope, I came to the conclusion of not taking the vaccine on my own. I think they're looking to their leaders to tell them what to do. So
might be too late now, though.
Well, it's definitely too late to save a lot of people who are going to be part of that innocent collateral damage.
Because how many of them saying Trump got it didn't matter for them, right? Like, oh, you think I do this because of Trump? Like, it's like, well, I did.
Yeah, the schools opening ties back into capitalism.
Capitalism.
The parents have to work, and there's no way the vaccine is ready by the fall. I don't even know that it's ready by the end of this year for 2 to 11-year-olds.
Especially with the change, it's like what the dominant variant's about to be and all that stuff. Like, yeah, 100%.
So yeah, we read some of the chat tonight, but let us know in the comments when you're watching this video what your thoughts are on the like I said, I think some of the conservatives have changed their minds, or they were just lying and they knew it all along. But
the latter. To your point, the early messaging was about creating a false dichotomy that wasn't there between the economy and public health, and then promoting the economy. And now they understand that they're going to actually fuck the economy short-term and long-term because we're about to get hit again because we didn't get ahead of it, and that it's going to hurt their voting base more so. Their tune's changed.
I think that's the end of the segment, Spider-Man.
Appreciate everyone who's in the comments, by the way. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and I apologize. Oh, I didn't say hi to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, what's up?
I got caught up. But yeah, thanks everyone for being here. We really appreciate it.
Feel free to share across social media if you should so choose, but your presence alone is enough. Thank you.
Yes, and make sure you're subscribed. And when you're done watching this, just go to the URL and change the Trickle up to Mute the Media and make sure you're subscribed over there.
Go check out some of that content too.
Yeah. Today's clip, I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but it's about trickle up economics. So
I have not yet. It was the one you posted on the on Twitter.
Yeah, I posted a link to it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet.
No worries.
You were there.
You were there.
I didn't even do homework on the doc. Technically, I was a little behind today, and I was like, I'll jump in live and we'll see how that goes. So
yeah, I wasn't too worried because the topics you're kind of pretty well versed on.
I checked them out and I was like, I know that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and we just kind of picked opinion pieces, opinion commentary versus like, okay, we got to relay information. So this next segment, everyone, is very totally just our opinion, and we're just going to discuss where we're at individually and get y'all's takes too. So. Okay, everyone, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. Matt, I'm thinking that we're just a couple weeks into the planning of the October 15th general strike. And I think a lot of people have been changing their minds on whether or not they want to support it or whether or not it has the right idea. Any initial thoughts?
Yeah, I got some thoughts.
Okay.
So, number one, there's a lot of valid criticism. But number two, too much of that criticism is coming from people who are doing nothing to help provide solutions to move forward, right, to address those criticisms. And I think there's a lot of people who are utilizing this as a reason to stand still, because some of the criticisms are off base, like who started it, the decentralized nature, irrelevant and moot, stupid. Okay. The list of demands, fair, right? How inclusive that is. Does it focus on consumers? What's the long-term aspects of this? How are we going to work mutual aid in this, right? When it comes to supporting people who are striking aspects of this, right? So fair. But like the reality is, like, we have 2.5 months until this day. So if like we're serious about like the lack of organization, that provides us a pretty decent window to start organizing both online and with our local communities. So at this point in time, the people who have negative shit to say about the strike, start walking the walk and doing what the fuck you need to make this movement better, because it's going to happen regardless. People are going to strike regardless, and it's on us to make this as good as possible so that we lessen the loss, because it was never going to win to begin with. So get that out of your head, and then we learn from it and we continue the momentum going forward. But it has to go. Like, this is going to move regardless. So we might as well make it the best we can be while still working towards things like the holiday strike and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and I just want to add, I don't necessarily endorse everything Matt's going to say. And likewise, he's not going to necessarily endorse everything I'm going to say. But like, I don't want to tell anyone that their takes are dumb or stupid. But I might disagree with some of y'all's takes. But yeah, to that point, I really don't like how so much of the pressure is on the workers when I feel like patrons have more leverage. And so when I heard that people were trying to alter this and like, with the holiday strike, I'm like, oh, that now they're speaking my language. But I think you can also kind of do both. I think you could just, argue that like, as soon as the 15th goes down and it's 2 weeks later and you're just figuring out how you want to do, Halloween capitalism, go small business.
Exactly. That's it right there. It's not that you have to stop spending all money, just become smart about where you spend your money. Okay. Like,
if you have that opportunity. Obviously that's a privileged take and we recognize that, but yeah.
Thank you, Shy. To that end too, like, do what you can do, right? Like if you're in a position where like you not going to work means not putting food on the table for like your children, I don't think you should strike, actually. I think it's on all of us as a collective to make sure we do what we need to so your message gets heard, even though you couldn't partake, right? So that goes back to her point about consumers. Ultimately, it's going to come down to the privileged motherfuckers doing what needs. That's always what it is, right? The people who really contribute and drive things need to be the ones to actually impact change. And it's not hard to shift where your fucking dollar goes.
I know, you're right.
So
yeah, and like, or even just opting out is I know as depressing as it sounds, it's like, it's like for the greater good. Like if you don't,
And on that note, cancel your goddamn Amazon subscriptions yesterday. Cancel your Netflix subscription yesterday. You don't have to have that Disney streaming service. I like ESPN and shit, but I got rid of that. I don't do that, like, because like I'll suck it up and pay extra for cards and stuff individually, because like little things like that, you don't have to give your dollar to the corporations. Little things like that can start right now. So you don't have to go to Starbucks. You don't got to go get that Pepsi. Hell, if you got to get that cola, Coca-Cola is a tad bit better than Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? Just even that. Like, I mean, just like, even if you got to start small, right? Just stop with the really bad corporations, move to the bad corporations, and start kind of just practicing moving your money away from shit. If you can't get rid of that soda, you got to, but you know what I'm saying? Just little things, man. Everything you can do, like stop buying those Frito company shit. You don't want to give anything to Fritos and all that, man. It's like, know where the fuck your dollar's going.
Yeah, Matt is referencing a current strike that's happening at a Fritos. I guess it's a factory. Factory seems kind of like outdated term, but I'm like, I guess that's what a plant, where they have what's called, I want to say it's suicide shifts. It's like, in other words, they have excessive employee exploitation. And so, whoever owns Fritos, which I'm pretty sure is Pepsi, boycott anything to do with them. Stand in solidarity with the strikers. And while we're speaking of holidays, just a friendly reminder in November, like maybe we normalize not celebrating Thanksgiving, and it's the traditions that highlight like a whitewashing of like what was horrendous in our history. Like,
you mean genocide?
Yes.
The whitewashing of genocide into a friendly encounter between two different people who shared food and festivities together in harmony.
Exactly. I'm not saying like don't spend time with your family, but like don't do it over, like that concept. And don't go shopping the next day.
Don't go shopping that fucking day, dude. Like, it's gotten to the point that like Black Friday starts on Thanksgiving. So the sham holiday about all of us being together then goes right into the biggest spending day of the year, which now infringes upon that day. It's like, we are so fucking dumb. Like,
yeah, so like, in other words, it's competition. Like, at some point, one business was like, hey, we'll open it, like they all opened at 6 a.m. on Black Friday. And then one was like, hey, we're going to open at midnight. And then the other places were like, well, we're going to also open at midnight. We don't want you getting all the sales. And then they were like, we're going to have the sales begin literally during the time when people would like to be spending time with their family. Yeah. And it's just horrific. And that Saturday is supposed to be like, support your small business Saturday. Just always pretend it's support your small business Saturday as often as you have an opportunity to.
So support your small business Saturday comes after Black Friday and Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck timed that?
Yeah. So like, in other words, like I'm a capitalist, I'm sure. Like, it's just another way to get money into the economy, and it's performative. But yeah, that's what the Saturday after, and then stay off the internet on that Monday, because that would be Cyber Monday.
Do you see what they're doing to you guys? Like, me and Shy were talking about this the other day. It's like we've like, so like, we're talking about how we got talking about was like, we're talking about the word love, and how it's like, isn't it crazy? Like, you can love a friend, you can love like the love of your life, a parent, or you could love like that thing you just bought, right? It's all the same in our language. You feel like if someone didn't know any better, right? It's the point. And we think about like, we're talking about how this holidays, right? We're talking about the concept behind Thanksgiving, what it's like been whitewashed into the lie, but what we've turned it into ourselves, even within that lie, right? The 14th of February, right? Like Love Day, right? Hallmark Day. It's like, bro, we've commodified human emotion within this system. Like, it's fucked up. And we can't figure out what the problem is.
Yeah, 100%. So circling back to the strike, which is required because in capitalism, it's profit over people. Patrons have the greater leverage. And so in the organizing process, it's not about having the people figuring out who can take off work, who can risk their job. It's about getting the crowds of people together in the communities on the same page to like boycott certain stores, certain restaurants. Obviously, nothing small business. We're just talking about corporations.
That starts like, so for example, like, we're having these conversations online, but like, you got to have these conversations in person. Like, I'm talking to my friends, I'm talking to coworkers, I'm talking to family about like, and you got to be annoying about it, man. Like, cause like, it starts with us. Like, so I got a pretty bad fast food habit. I'm going to have to kick that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just is what it is. Like, I have to kick some of my fucking spending habits. It is what it is, right? Like, I had to get over some of the, like, I like Amazon for my school books and shit. Like, oh, well, I'm going to have to look to something else, like, it is what it is. We all have to make some sacrifices, some a little more, some a little less, but everyone has to make a little bit of a sacrifice. Because that's what capitalism is, man. It fucking desensitizes us. We don't think about the exploitation that gives us right here, right now. So.
Yeah, and to address Wonder Woman, yeah, the planned strike is October 15th. So definitely don't spend any money on that day. And don't take off work if you think you'll lose your job that day. It's no one else's place to like mess with your livelihood.
Yeah, do what you can do. And to the end, like, look up your like states, like labor laws, things like that. Don't assume that just because you hear someone like me talking about something from a California perspective that our labor laws apply to you in, say, Tennessee, for example, right? It's like, look at your locale and look up your state. Look at your company policies.
Like, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just wanted to address Wonder Woman. It's technically supposed to be don't spend any money. But like, if you did need something from a small business, just get it on the 14th. And yeah, I was going to say, but like, the general consensus is you want the streets to be empty. You want the You want them to feel the economic, whatever word would be the opposite of a stimulus, that deficit for the day.
And to the end, so for example, let's say someone has to go work at their restaurant job because they got to worry about bills, but no one shows up to that restaurant. Mission accomplished.
They get paid. No tips, but they get paid.
And here's the thing: the whole concept of strike is to make the business feel it. The business fucking feels it if they had to pay overhead and they didn't make any money. So.
But yeah, on that note, I feel like as there's more information, I haven't really changed my mind because from day one I've been really about the patron strike, but I'm fully on board with the idea of the holiday strike too. I like it a lot. And if I could add one note to something I've noticed within the general strike website is that guys, consider adding guys, gals, whatever, whoever. Consider adding universal basic income because then you'll help everyone, and people who aren't traditionally employed are on your side and they want your wages to go up.
Don't consider it. It's been added. I've hijacked your movement. I'm adding it. So it's decentralized. We don't have to ask anybody. That's the beauty of it. We can put out our own list of demands like we're going to, and we can push for that. And you don't. That's the thing right there. That's why I'm getting annoyed. It's like if you see an issue within this, go do something about it because it's open. So if you really think it's an issue and you really fuck with that, go do something about it. Like that's the beauty of this strike. You will find out to some degree who's about it and who's not. So.
I think that can be the end of this segment, Spider-Man. Yeah, we were really concise tonight, Matt. I'm kind of surprised.
I'm proud of us.
I know. I think we're getting better at this.
A little less of the weed.
Hot Sauce is apologizing. Hot Sauce, I didn't even notice you were here until now. I apologize if I didn't see your... I
was going to say, I didn't notice he spammed in the chat either.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. I think
thanks for dropping in, though, bro.
Yeah. This is way too efficient. Yeah, that's...
So how about this? We'll hang around for a little bit. If you guys got some comments, questions, anything you want to say, if you think there's something we missed... We'll do a little like Q&A back and forth for a few minutes. Just kind of shoot the shit with you guys since you're in here. Right? Yeah. Sorry, boys. My bad, bro. Like, I feel like we got good clips in there, though.
Yeah, I know. There's no nuance. I was like, I don't think he's upset. I think he's like I'm going to read that as he's impressed.
Boys, I took you to heart the other day, man. A few weeks back, and like we got to get through these things and knock them out. I was like, all right, man. I take things to heart when I hear a feedback. I'm like, all right, I can work with that. That's why I hate the shit talk. It's like, dude, if you actually give me like criticism, like I'll fucking respond to that. But like, just what does that mean? We love you too, Mindful. Thanks for having us.
I know.
When's his next show? Sunday? They're gonna be on Sunday, or has he got anything going on next couple of days? I think he said something about he's gonna be in Chicago. No, not tonight, boys. Did you say you're gonna be in Chicago coming up for something?
Somewhat delayed.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay. We'll give him a second. Hot Sauce. Yeah, I'm proud of y'all too. You guys inspire me. I'm just a loud, obnoxious idiot. Hey. I wouldn't say that. I like. Oh, baby.
Hot Sauce, you weren't going to like support the strike before. I'm disappointed in you. All you had to do was not spend money, bro. And you're only just now coming to the conclusion.
Oh, baby. Hey, let's get Mindful the link. He's going to hop in with us. The man, the myth, the legend. There he is.
Not spend money, bro.
Let me mute that. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good,
yeah, man. So tomorrow or Saturday, I'll be live streaming from Chicago for the Medicare for All March. Gonna make some good connections with some people in Chicago. I'm also gonna be stopping in Gary, Indiana, to hopefully set up an interview with the Gary, Indiana's mayor, who has a mayor for guaranteed income pilot in Gary, Indiana. So that's a big. I'm gonna try and make some good connections there. But then, yeah, of course, Sunday we have the news. But Monday, I'm trying to think of because we were talking about reparations on Monday with POTUS for Us. He wants to talk about reparations, and there's one other. We mentioned it last week in the live stream. Someone else requested a different topic. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but I think reparations is a good discussion to have. I would like to see POTUS for Us just come in and lead one. He's fucking solid.
Well versed.
I'm a big fan of his content, man. He is. I like his new curly mustache. That's pretty cool.
He's cold.
Yeah.
I like it. He's
like stoic assassin. Like keeps a straight face and then goes, and now you die. You know, like I like that type.
You wanted a little nuance to that, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
He really does. He really does. He's very cold, man. He's precise. No uses in the house, of course. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to think of other topics. Like if we could like put it in our group chat, like what's some topics we'd like to all cover. Everybody.
Critical race. What does critical race theory have to say about liberalism? I would love to dive into that at some point.
Critical race theory had to say about liberalism. I don't know. I'm not in the law degree course, so I don't know what critical race theory actually teaches at the law degree, like it actually is being taught. But you know what I mean? Like I don't know enough about it. I just know the basics. Like I haven't read the book. I know Hot Sauce has got that book.
There's multiple books too, because like to your point, it's like this is legal scholarship, right? So and what's up, President Manny? So like the original volume, I think was like Kimberly Crenshaw and others, but there's different like works, and it's not like a monolithic school of thought. There's people within critical race theory who disagree on things and stuff like that.
That's why it's called a theory. They're still working on it, right? They're fine tuning it. It's nothing. It's not like a law.
No,
people are so threatened by new ideas.
It's not a new idea. Like critical race theory stems from critical legal studies, I believe, which was like in the 70s and 80s, and it's been around since the late 80s, right? So, but to your point, but here's the thing: it is a new idea in a sense, right? Because like people are being confronted by it for the first time. A lot of people they don't know it's been around.
Yeah.
So, do we know what like started this conversation on the national level? Like, I'm gonna bet it was a Republican or something who like dragged this out and found some outrage thing
recently. Yeah, that's actually good. I'm gonna look that up.
If we can,
it's probably Ted Cruz.
If we can pinpoint, we should do that. If someone can pinpoint, that's homework for all of us. If we can pinpoint what got the ball rolling on the critical race theory conversation in this country in this last few months, I would love to see the origin point of that, because that'd be interesting. Because it's not being taught in schools. This is not being taught. Like your kids are not going to be taught critical race theory in elementary school or middle school, even high school. It's not happening like that. So
yeah, I would like to learn more about it personally to have a better opinion on it. And like you were saying earlier about like Cuba, I don't know enough. I don't have a good opinion. I stand for people having sovereignty, you know, like right now I have this guy on Twitter that comes from a conservative background, and he's a Jewish guy that got mad at me because I said I supported Ben and Jerry's saying we're not going to sell ice cream, our product, in Palestinian occupied land. And he was like, that's racist. I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, you don't have a problem with so you don't have a problem with Palestine killing gay people and da. I'm like, that's the Palestinian government. And what government do they have really? They don't have a real like government. They have Hamas that's kind of just gangster government. But I support the sovereignty of the Palestinian people. And he's like, well, they rejected all these treaties. I was like, I support the people having sovereignty. Everything else doesn't matter until they have sovereignty, you know. And that's all I know. He's like, do you know the history? Don't know, don't care. Nope, don't know. All I know is they're being occupied. Period. They're being kicked out of their homes. Genocide. Period. They're being picked off by snipers. Fuck that shit, man. They're being occupied. And me and him are going back and forth about that for a minute. So I'm thinking about inviting him on. That'd be fun.
I mean, we need to put some numbers down on that. 75% of the Palestinian are refugees, I believe, in the Gaza Strip alone, right, which is right there north. It's a very small little strip. It's a very dense urban area. There's 50% minors.
Whoa, really?
Yes. So So you're talking about a population of 75% refugees, 50% minors, and this is who billions of U.S. tax dollars go to bomb. So yeah, no, people can miss me with their straw man representations of what's happening over there with Palestine and Israel. So
So let's talk about, I'm gonna put a list here. Critical race theory. Let's do a whole panel on that.
And for that, I think we should really reach out and try to like maybe like the Melanated Council, for example, within Yang Gang, or just find anybody who is well versed within that community on critical race theory and can drop, because it's nuanced. There's a lot of nuance to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm still reading through it, and it's pretty heavy reading myself. So,
well, and reparations. What was this other topic? I can't think of anything. If you guys got some of the topics in the comments, let us know, man. I'm trying to get I want to get a month of topics ahead of time.
Can we take a deep dive into the Declaration of Independence as a reaction to England and their like treaties with the indigenous, stuff like that?
I have the entire Declaration of Independence in this book. It's actually the first chapter of this guy's book. You guys should get this on the Trickle Up's website. It's at the link in there. Yeah, he actually covers the whole thing. That's the first time I remember actually reading it, like word for word. That's really enlightening. And yeah, it's actually that's the very first thing in this book mentions. There's the whatever the table of contents and Declaration of Independence.
Just gonna pause and say thank you to AgroLib. If we're talking Palestine, we talk Kurdistan, because there's a lot of Kurdish people across Iraq, Iran, Turkey, that region who have been forgotten.
Yeah, I mean we got Kurdistan. Now that I don't know shit about.
There is no Kurdistan, but there should be.
Oh, the Kurds.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, the ones that we abandoned to get
multiple times.
Yeah,
we abandoned them in the 70s, the 90s. We just did it a few years ago. It's an American tradition, fucking over the Kurds in a really brutal fashion.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other things that other people, like the mainstream media, will not talk about. So I think that's going to be our wheelhouse, is talking about that kind of stuff. Let me think. I think I saw a pretty funny thing about Biden today about defunding the police. A Fox News panel reporter. He goes, do you think do you support defund the police? He goes, no, I've never said defund the police. They go, well, are there some Democrats that support defund the police? Are there any Republicans that think that we're drinking blood from children? And his fucking gangster ass walked away. I was
the league goes, and then goes to repeat the question. He just walks off. Like, I don't fuck with Biden, but that was nice. I was
that's a cold old motherfucker right there.
Because he leaned in with like a little troll face too, bro. He was like ready for it. He's like, yeah, fuck. It was like kind of like that. Well, you shut up, man. He had his moment. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah, like I said, one of my friends who's very politically active goes, how the fuck do you support Biden? I was like, I don't. What makes you think I do? He's like, you voted for him. I was like, I'd vote for a fucking rocking chair over Trump right now. So it's not like it's kudos to Biden. It's just like you win by default. Only Trump makes Joe Biden look electable. And he's like, well, how do you support his policies? Like, what makes you think I support his policies? He's only done a couple things right that I can see. It's like 30%, 35%, 40%, somewhere like less than half. I still agree with some of it, but
we can't. Here's the thing. If there wasn't here's the thing. First of all, if there's not a pandemic, Trump wins anyways. It's irrelevant. But if it's not for the pandemic, I probably there's an argument to me that I don't vote for Biden at all, because I don't give a you know me, man. I'm pretty both parties the same thing ultimately at this point in time, right? One's overtly bad, one plays ball with them and leads to the same spot anyways. But we can't ignore the difference between Trump and Biden's rhetoric when it comes to lives as it relates to pandemic and vaccine rollout and stuff like that. It's just incomparable. I'm not gonna I'm all for taking a step back and calling out everyone for what they are, but we can't ignore the margins. We're talking tens of thousands of fucking deaths, difference in these administrations, what the rhetoric and the impact it would have. It's I can't ignore that, man. I can't ignore the impact of a Biden administration on.
I actually like this.
No topics didn't jump. That's a good one.
Let's look at what policy has used executive orders against and which ones he did not.
That's a really good one.
Okay, let's do a Trump-Biden policy comparison. I like that hot sauce. Yeah, because I want to get a full month worth of topics ready to go. Then we can really go deep on them when we got time. We can create a Google Doc. We can all just kind of keep throwing info in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, congrats on the merch.
Oh,
I
thank
know
you, sir.
I know it's a pain in the fucking ass.
Thank you to Shy, Makeup Marie, and Mr. Resist for Humanity with the help on that. Shy
Yeah.
especially.
Well, I mean, it was a collaborative effort, but I don't want Michael taking credit for that fire because that was all me.
And that was Shy. Shy had some artistic additions, no doubt about it.
She just says,
Thanks, man.
Texas, the whole fucking state. Let's just talk about Texas.
There's a lot to talk about.
Dude, they have been on fire with ignorance. I tell you, boy. They, what is it they made in that bill? That Care Bear is on that shit, first of all. She's got to lead that whole discussion. Texas as a whole state hates her fucking guts. Let's say
53% of Texas ain't feeling her right now.
Oh man. It's it's pretty crazy how much they hate her fucking guts down there right now, and she's really been on their ass too. Tennessee's another one that's got some pretty fucked up legislation being introduced. I think what's other state, and California got some weird shit going on too. I saw the police were out there because there's like a protest. Students were like locking arms to protect a homeless encampment. And they came and tore that shit up, and the cops like chucked them. Just
Cops went through and chucked him, tell him this is our street, shit like that. There was an attack on young activists who were protecting a spa.
Yeah.
Cop, dude, fucking point blank, shot her right in the abdomen with a rubber bullet.
Dude.
Point blank, bro. You know as well as you know better than I do. That's not how that's could be lethal utilized that way.
Well, there's about 5 different reasons or 5 different rules he broke with that one shot.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it is not meant for point blank range. It's a long distance weapon. Okay. Second of all, it must be shot below the waist. It's intended to be shot off the ground as a bounce trajectory to hit you in the lower body.
Which would take some of the impact off the bounce, by the way. Like,
yes. And the third one is that is a lethal place to put a non-lethal round. Dead center mass, man. You can put someone in cardiac arrest with a percussion like that. Not to mention rip their flesh open.
And it was a young woman, bro. Like,
dude,
and so
it was like 4 feet.
Bro, she literally had her hand like this saying don't shoot, was on the sidewalk still. And here's the thing. How many cops stood there, saw it happen, including what was obviously someone who was kind of in command of that little unit, who said something but did nothing? Bad cops, each and every one of them. All bad. That's the point right there.
They should all be fucking fired tonight or a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I would like to get a cop on, man, and talk about these things.
Bro, even the fucking dude. I've had one who was an ex who was like did like DUI stuff, and he like they can't like I mean not all of them, but he literally couldn't admit that Chauvin was in the wrong. Like I wasn't there myself. Like blah blah. Like I'm not sure. It's like what the fucking. This is the problem, bro. This is the problem with you people right here. Is like you ain't connected to this anyway. You ain't even like a cop really, bro. Like and like you're defending this shit.
I have one friend here that's a cop, and he turned down being the police chief. He's like, no, thank you. He's like, I'll be the safety officer. Like, he's like, this is not the time to be in charge of this whole fucking town, man. And we got some real racial issues in my area where it's like, there's a small town called St. Joseph, Michigan, that has one of the top 10% schools in the state. And performance-wise, it's 90% white. Has all the money, all the jobs. It's pristine. And then you have Benton Harbor across the river. Literally, you could throw a rock across the street, and now you're in Benton Harbor, where the average income is like $14,000, just over poverty line. And I think it says that 70% of the people are under the poverty line. And it's 80 something, 90% black. And they've had some people disappear. Like when I was a senior in high school, this young black man was in St. Joe, last seen running from a group of white guys, and his body was found in the river like a week later. Never, ever found anyone guilty of that one. That's when I was in high school, guys. That's 1993 when I graduated. So there's some really I went to the
can you do me a favor real quick? What year did you graduate?
93. Don't do no fucking math.
I was born in 92.
I am your father. from a long ways away. Oh man. But yeah, there's a lot of history here in this small, they call it the Twin Cities in the past. They don't call it Twin Cities no more, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on here. My friend's a cop. He's like, yeah, I don't want to be in charge. And I asked him all, I was like, Steve, off the record, bro. Chauvin. He goes, murderer. I was like, thank you. Now I know that you're a good person. You have a fucking spine and a brain. He goes, dude, yeah, that motherfucker murdered him, man. Come on, man. I'm like, all right. I was literally checking you for your morality. Like, are you a moral person or are you just a cop? He goes, I am a police officer, but I'm also a father. I'm also a husband. I'm also a coach. You know, like I'm a human being that witnessed a murder. He goes, I witnessed a murder on national television. I thought, holy shit, my job's gonna get a lot harder now. And that's when he's like, I don't want to be in charge. Fuck this. He's on the twilight years of being a police officer, honestly. What did she says? Coming to the best quotes. What did I quote? What was my one-liner? I think I missed it. Unless I said something that
she might have liked your daddy line.
Oh, man. Well, that's a good one. Yeah, dude. I have friends that have kids that are older than you that I graduated with. They had kids right out of high school, man. I was like, I didn't know you was pregnant when you graduated. She goes, I didn't either, you know. Yeah, I have a friend that's grandparents, man. It's incredible. My kids are old enough to make me a grandparent, but I told him, give me 10 years, bro. Please.
Give me a little window to
give me 10 years to just do me. I just want a decade of midlife bliss, you know?
I feel it. Except I don't.
Man, I just want to give me 10 years where I can do me. Yeah. I want to quit my job, man. I don't want to fucking worry about other shit. I want to have no worries. Financial worries, at least.
Yeah, I think COVID was a leading cause of deaths in 2020 for police officers. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, I was like, we just need to normalize saying things like I believe, I think, versus just like stating, because there's a lot of weird people on the internet who go out of their way to take the simplest things out of context to discredit you.
Not talking about conservative immigrant at all.
Oh, God.
Bro, he got bodied by the squad, though.
Yeah. I joined him on one live stream to talk about healthcare. We were civil. But it's only because I'm a guy. You know? Yeah, I'm losing interest in even talking to him anymore. I'm just like, you know what? Pick your battles, and that one's not even in the same field. You know, like, I don't know, man.
Aggressive liberal. That shit was so funny last night. The end of the segment, they were doing like hot or not with like some like different like politicians and whatnot, and then they ended it with fucking conservative immigrants.
Not.
Yeah, I just, for anyone who doesn't know, I had nothing to do with that segment. That was all aggressively liberal who,
and it was brilliant. I loved it.
Was in charge of that producing aspect.
I loved it.
I wasn't saying it was bad. I don't want to get any credit for that.
I had to leave, so I was watching that whole thing while I was driving, and I caught that end when I was like meeting up with someone. I was dying laughing. That shit was funny as fuck.
Yeah, we wondered why you didn't say anything.
I couldn't comment back. I was watching. Yeah.
Because lurch don't get laid, y'all.
But yeah, I mean, it's just dude, I'm hitting the point where I don't even want to talk to like some people on the left, man. I can't we're at a point in time where we're post-insurrection. We're in the midst of, like, we've already been hit with COVID. We know what's coming now. We should know the history. Like, you know, like we have access to history, right? And it's time of information. Like, if you don't get it today, and like, not that you have to get everything, but if you land on the wrong side, like unequivocally the wrong side today, I really don't have much time to talk to you anymore. Like, I'm going to throw a few feelers out. And if you don't get those few things, they don't got time for it, man. Like, because they're not going to get it. They don't want to get it. They're just the problem. And we got to work on the people who contribute to the problem by trying to like to placate them, appease them, and work with them, because that's an even bigger problem for us, because that's what we can actually work on. Yeah, keep hammering that same shit home.
I have a guy from school I used to go with, and is a friend I used to go to school with, and he says dumb shit on Facebook like on a regular. He posted some fucking racist shit about George Floyd's statue should be accurate, and it showed George Floyd with a gun pointing at his at a woman's belly and shit like that. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of racist shit is this? Then he's like, well, it should be accurate. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, this is on Facebook. I'm not even DMing him private. This is public. I'm like, you're a piece of shit, man. And he's like, what's your fucking problem? I was like, apparently you. We went back and forth, and I was like, dude, this is not fucking okay, man. This is fucked up. And this and that. And he said something. He made some kind of a personal thing, like a personal attack. He couldn't beat me with anything else. He's like, well, you fucking tough guy now? I'm like, well. And then it tickled my lizard brain. I'm just like, ooh. You're making I'm tingling. And he lives about 35, 45 minutes from me. I was like, you still live in Kalamazoo, Michigan, right? He's like, yep. I was like, maybe I'll run into you someday. Well, we'll talk about this in person then. He's like, oh, okay, now you're fucking tough. I was like, nope. Just tougher than you. That's all it matters. He's like, I'm not the fastest guy in the world. I'm faster than you, so I won't die. Ha ha. And it's just those people get me. They challenge my fucking ego. Like I'm still a primate. It's here. And people like him make me want to go fucking old school and just show up at his house, be like, hey, bro, you want to talk outside real quick? And we're going to flush this shit out, But
that's my point. You can't actually talk to them. So it's like, why even bother?
Well, the old me wants to hit him now,
The new old all of you. That's you do. It's just the new you is a little better at controlling it.
I still want to. I visualize slapping the fuck.
I was like, did you just hear yourself, bro? I was like, you want to hit him for sure.
I still want to. Yeah. But it's risk reward kind of thing I go through now. I'm like, in the end, I don't know, man. I just feel like I haven't gotten in a fight or boxed or rolled on the mat or nothing in a long time. And I'm just like, I feel like that.
I just got a good roll in on Monday. Got my butt spanked by my homie. He had 40 pounds on me, and he has a jiu-jitsu background. So I got my butt worked for an hour. Yeah.
You got threw around a little bit, huh?
Oh, I got threw around.
Dude, judo's rough. Judo, they slam your ass.
Oh, no, he had a jiu-jitsu background.
Oh, jiu-jitsu. I thought you said judo. Mm-hmm. Well,
jiu-jitsu. But he had 40 pounds on my ass, too. So I got good defensive wrestling. So it was still a bitch for him to take me down. But at one point, I was up against, because we have a wall in here in the mat. At one point down the league, I'm fucking tired. So I go to the wall for support, and he just leans on me. I'm like, oh, fuck, he's gonna drain me. I don't have the stamina to hold him. Yeah, after about a minute, I felt like he's like, fuck, he got a single leg. I was like, fuck, he's gonna get it. I let him take it. I was able to flip it and get top position. But from there, he was like, oh, fuck, now he's gonna get an armbar or something. I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, it's like just reacting to his shit. It was so bad, bro. Such a good workout, though.
You're afraid to even reach with one arm.
I'm literally just trying to get out. I have top position. I'm trying to run.
Back on your feet.
Yeah. That's one reason I don't fight, because pretty much everyone has at least 40 pounds on them.
Minimum. Wait a minute. I probably double your weight, Shy. Just be honest. I'm 220 almost.
Oh, you're
more than double it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at him thinking, okay, she's a thin little rail. You can't be 110 pounds. That's twice as much. And so...
yeah, it's like, I'm going to set a boundary right now, dude. If you want me to still be the producer for your Thursday show, don't call me a rail.
Wait, how tall are you, Shy?
I'm 5'6".
Oh yeah, and you're not vertically gifted.
5'6" is average height.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Yep.
That's my daughters. They're both 5'5", 5'6".
About 5'6" for a lady and about 5'9", 5'10" for a dude.
Yeah, that's what I am, 5'9", 5'10". Yep. Aggressive. He said, you still got weight on me? Boy, you're thick in the middle, I see. All right. But yeah, pounds do matter, man. But I do really miss just rolling, and
it's so much fun, dude.
I haven't gotten out my aggression in a long time, physically. I want to run, but my fucking legs can't.
Dude, get a bike maybe, hit the pool. You have a pool around you can hit maybe.
I have
the water, river.
Yeah. I have a treadmill and a.
Oh, fuck the treadmill, bro. Fuck treadmills. I hate treadmills.
I like walking on a treadmill when I'm watching TV, just because it burns calories. Just walking on a fucking treadmill while I'm watching TV, stay off the couch. but I have a recumbent bike or a bike, whatever, a stationary bike. I'm sorry.
Nice. Yeah.
6'1". Fat. He's so fucking crazy. Dude, if I could be 6 foot tall, that'd be a great day. You know, just because I'm not tall.
I loved cardio. Not because I loved it. I just knew I didn't hate it quite as much as the guy next to me. And I loved that.
Yeah, cardio was my thing, man, back in the day, of course, when I was young. 50 pounds ago, you know.
Yeah, you were a fast motherfucker. You were an explosive motherfucker.
Yeah, I was a runner, man. Like my friends were talking to me that a couple guys I went to school with, their kids go to Coloma, and they're on the same team as my kid now, blah, blah, blah. And the one guy goes, the one kid in Coloma did pretty good in cross country this year. He ran like a 16:30. That's pretty good, right? Like, yeah, it's pretty good, man. He went all state. I was like, yeah, man, that'll get you off state. And he goes, what's your fastest time? I told him, he goes, the fuck? You know, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. And he's like, Jesus Christ. He goes, it's over a minute. Like, yeah, it's pretty good, you know, and this and that. And he's like, how the fuck? I was like, I couldn't do that on a 10-speed downhill. You know, like, that's not normal and it's not natural. And you sure the fuck don't keep doing it. That's why I respect people like Jerry Rice. The dude was 42 years old, still giving it to him.
I met Jerry Rice a couple times. He's a pretty cool dude.
Oh my God.
One of the times is a pretty funny story. I ain't gonna lie to you. So it was not in Vegas, it's in Tahoe. I was working this celebrity golf tournament as like a volunteer. So that's why we were up there. And so that night, some of us went to like the nightclub and we're chilling. It's like, and they go a little later there, you know. So it was like 2:00 ish. And I'm fucking gone, right? And I'm going to the bathroom. And me and my buddy, he's go to the far stall. I'm in a stall. And like this dude walks up next to me, about the same height. And I like look over. I'm like, is that Jerry Rice? I'm like, that's Jerry Rice. And I go, Steve, I'm taking a piss next to Jerry Rice. And I'm like this, and, bro. And I'm fucking. And he just goes, bro. He puts his hand up and just keeps pissing, bro. He just puts his hand up and just fucking. We're washing our hands, talking, and he has to play a round of golf like in 5 hours, bro. And he's fucking plastered, getting with the ladies and shit. He was so cool. He was hella chill, hella chill.
Yeah, when I was in high school, man, I was a huge Jerry Rice fan, and then he just kept going and kept going and kept going. I'm like, this motherfucker, and never got in a scandal of any sort.
Just worked hard.
I watched
clean routes.
Yeah, I watched the video of him in his in San Francisco. He has this property with hills, man. And he had, who was it? Randy Moss. I think Randy Moss came there. He got in a little bit of trouble when he first got in the league, and the team people said, "Hey, you need to go to hang out with Jerry Rice for off season once." And then got his ass clean, got him out of the fucking clubs and shit. Then all of a sudden, Jerry Rice taught him like the business of it, of how to take care of your body, how to be clean. And Randy Moss, you know, he's country as hell too. I like him. He's like, that son of a bitch made me run like I've never ran in my life, and I'm a runner. He was, that dude is 10 years older than me and giving me the business and running those mountains, man. Good God.
Bro, like you said, he ain't playing like quarterback in his 40s. He played wide receiver in his 40s in a different era. When they were jamming you on the line, they were mauling you over the middle. It was a different era.
And taking your head off of your shoulders.
Bro, you come over anywhere within that like 2 to 10 yard area over the middle, a linebacker's going to hurt you. And if it's not the linebacker, safety's going to come up and knock your head off.
Dude,
like
Steve Atwater, Ronnie Lott, murderers. You know, and yeah, he played in a rough era, man.
Mm-hmm.
Him and like, that's the thing, man. My kids still want to argue about the greatest athlete, Kobe, Michael, LeBron.
Bo Jackson.
Bo
Jackson.
He's the first person to get sponsored by Nike. Period.
If you want to talk greatest athletes, it's gonna be Bo Jackson or LeBron James. Like, it's like you just can't ignore you can't ignore 6'9", 260, like 4 speed with like a 40 vert into the mind too. It's like those two are right there.
But I would put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up there too.
The movement for a 7'1" guy. I can't.
And a black belt in karate.
Wilt too. Wilt could sprint. Yeah. All of these guys. That's the point. There's just a few freaks you can like kind of throw in that conversation for like whatever reason to kind of bring their own like freakiness to it. We'll call it, right?
Gronk.
Yeah, dude, a 6'7", 280 specimen who can like still like
party.
And could you imagine if he took care of himself like when he was younger?
Well, look at what's his name, his teammate, the tight end that killed the people.
Aaron Hernandez.
Hernandez, man, he was another gifted athlete that just. Yeah, LeBron James though. Oh, dude, the Greek freak. He's a specialty freak though. It's basketball or nothing. Like, well, I'm sure he can do fucking hurdles.
Yeah, he's not quite the athlete though. That like in terms of like, for example, like just comparing Greek freak to LeBron. So he's longer than LeBron. He's got about 3 inches in height. They're probably about the same weight, I would guess. Giannis put a lot of weight on through his career as he's filled out that frame. Yeah. But Giannis does not. So, for example, even within basketball, like just the skill set of basketball, Giannis is very limited, actually. He doesn't have the same wiggle, the same side to side. He has a great straight line speed and a great vertical, but he's not quite the dynamic athlete that some of these guys are, like even a Jordan or like LeBron has. The thing about LeBron is not only does he have that size, that like that freakiness, that dominance, but he has the wiggle, the side to side. Like when he was young, Giannis has never had that and will never have that. But he's a freak in his own right, no doubt about it.
And people also forget that Kobe Bryant was a fucking hell of soccer player. Mm-hmm. Like he's a military brat, so he played a lot of league soccer in the military coming up. And well, then you got the international scene where you have
Cristiano Ronaldo's a freak athlete. Ronaldo, his fucking vert and shit. Yeah, like
he is nasty.
His Euro is getting better. That's the thing. So that's the thing. Like, and I'm not taking away from Giannis, by the way. Giannis is a stud. Like,
it's just like one dribble at half court and dunk the ball in 2 steps.
To that point, Giannis just won a championship pretty much like as like the best player on the team, right? But here's the thing. Notice that he's not the one closing games to them, right? It's Chris Middleton. When it gets into a half-court game and you got to get a tough bucket, it's Chris Middleton making those shots. To that end, though, if Giannis develops like a post game a little more and keeps working the outside shot, he'll be unstoppable. Because once he has that post game, the actual footwork and the passing ability, you draw the double, right? He has like a little shoulder shake, pass it back out, it's over. It's fucking done. He's winning ships with like a limited skill set.
Drew Brees beat Andy Roddick in a tennis match. Fuck Drew Brees. That's all I got to say about Drew Brees. Fuck him. A fucking bigot. I can't stand him. That's a racist motherfucker.
Is he?
He said some racist shit. Let me rephrase that. He says some fucking racist shit, man. And then
like
tried to walk it back. What was it? About a year ago.
I remember the comment. I think he it was he wouldn't kneel. I think it just says he wouldn't kneel.
Something else, man. It was like I said, man, fuck Drew Brees forever now. I can't remember what the fuck it was. About a year and a half ago. Yeah, I can't remember what it was off the top.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, and fuck Drew Brees because I'm a Detroit Lions fan and a Michigan football fan. He went to Purdue. But he is.
I envision my 2 grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II. One in the Army, one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country and try to make our country and this world a better place. So every time I stand with my hand over my heart, looking over that flag and singing about the national anthem, that's what I think about. That was what got the uproar going.
That's not what got me going. It was something else, man.
Oh, and also, I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country.
Yeah.
That was about it. It was the flavor of the day.
Yeah. There's some, I don't know, man. Some other shit about race. I can't remember what the fuck it was, man. He walked that shit back quick, though.
But I mean, here's the thing. If we're gonna make that claim, like we gotta actually back that up.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it says, but I got the.
So then we should withdraw that, shouldn't we? Because it's a pretty serious accusation. If we can't support it,
and so I can remember what the fuck I'm thinking.
Yeah. So for now, you don't like him because you're a Lions fan. Fair, but
and a Michigan fan.
Definitely fair. He was a good player at Purdue, so know that about that. Fair.
Hey, and that son of a bitch is a good quarterback. I can't hate on him for that. I don't hate him on the field. I hate some of the things he said. I'm not okay.
I didn't like the take because it's like so you can't claim like you don't understand, right? Because like you have like black teammates who their experience and stuff like that. So you can't act like you don't understand or you don't have any access to like their experience in this country, right? That was my problem with it. It's just the lack of empathy, given who his peers and friends are. So
let me think. Okay. Man, I hope I'm not fucked up on this. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, so Matt, you guys are talking about sports, and it made me think of something. Do you remember when like NBA players just like walked off and didn't play a game because they were protesting?
There's Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Well, like there's a Thursday night football the day before the strike in Philadelphia. So if I'm a resident of Philadelphia, I'm trying to figure out how I utilize the fact that that game will air, and potentially in the background, people will be seeing that maybe you can make a statement about, as a patron, strike something the following day. Like this is the kind of things we got to think about now, so that
how we can get a message onto like national TV on a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
In Philly.
Yeah, there was like a 49ers fan that would go to the stadium, or that they lived in the area. I don't know if they were a fan, and they would hold up like Andrew Yang, like giant posters, and every once in a while you could see it behind, like when they showed like the commentators.
So if you get people like at the 50 like yard line, for example, like a banner to pull out, and every time it shows like the sideline, you would just see it there, for example, like national strike tomorrow, like
it wouldn't even have to be controversial. You could just say like tomorrow, don't spend money.
We gotta get a hashtag mute the media banner out then. National coverage. I'm not fucking joking.
we gotta push that strike. We gotta push that. I always feel weird. Like I can market. Like I don't feel hype myself up like on a page, but I don't know. I ain't gonna fucking Meet the Media will do its thing. We'll get out there. We'll grow this shit. Nah, but you ain't wrong. Like that'd be cool if you could have like something small, like just like that's what I'm trying to say. Like how can we like frame this in a way that's like gonna get people on board? It's like as simple as like take a day off from capitalism. Like I don't take a day off from. You can't say capitalism. Just take a day off from spending. Take a day off from being a consumer.
Well, what you do is you make it about the elites, right? You don't make it about a left-right thing. It's about elitism, right? And say, okay, I think the timing would be better with this whole Bezos thing, flying to space on a phallus. But it'd be good timing to say, hey, this is what they do with their money when people were starving. Let's hit them once. Let's take one day to show them that, and we have to have a message, like that type of the dick ship. Yeah, it's a flying phallus. And he I think the timing, of course we didn't know he's gonna fucking fly a goddamn phallus to space either, but with his grandpappy's cowboy hat too. What a fucking weirdo, man. I mean, that hat was not meant for that little fucking dome, bro. That shit was sitting on his stuff like this.
I can't stand that dude, man.
He's such a weasel. Think about this. His wife's done more charity in 1 year than he has in his whole fucking career, as far as I'm concerned. She gave away $2 billion in 18 months. That's like $1 million a month. That's giving away some. No, wait. Wait a minute, my math is off. Okay, yeah. Anyway, fuck it. Oh my god, hot sauce. Bezos got tired of fucking his employees and decided to go fuck space. Oh, sorry, that's okay. Hot sauce is on a fucking rant tonight. I like it. But yeah, I apologize. I was wrong about. I can't find anything that's fucking specifically racist about Drew Brees. I was wrong on that. It is about the him coming down on Kaepernick. Yeah, because I was one of those veterans on Facebook that was blasting Kaepernick out there, man, being like, I would gladly take a knee next to him. Like, I want to see that during the next when do the Lions win again? When a team forfeits from COVID this season. I'm calling it. That's their first win of the season. Going to be another team forfeits because they got COVID on their team or some shit, The Lions are fucking terrible, man. And they don't have their quarterback no more. They got, what's his name from California?
Jared Goff. Welcome to the squad.
The Goffster.
Jared Goff out of Cal Berkeley.
God, man. You guys, I love my Lions, but they suck. I'm honest about it. All you other motherfuckers have some bias you're letting show them. My team's great. No, the Lions are terrible. They've been to 2 playoff games since I've been fucking alive. They've lost both. So,
It's all good. Like the Cowboys only have like one more playoff win like in the last like 25 years than you guys do.
But they won a championship, several.
Not in the last 25 years.
Well,
not in my lifetime, really.
Emmitt Smith was there.
Cool.
And that's less than 25 years ago.
Emmitt Smith is overrated.
I 100% agree. I think Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time, next to
Walter Payton.
Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson's. But he had
Bo Jackson didn't play long enough to be the greatest running back of all time. Right. He could be the greatest talent.
Yeah. But I think Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, man. God damn. Yeah.
And
Jim Brown. Are you kidding me? That was a giant among men back then, man. Yeah, I was a Walter Payton fan as a person, but I hate the fucking Bears. I hate them.
I can fuck with the Bears. They're cool. I like any like I'm a Niner fan, so like as long as you weren't like a direct rival, I like franchise that have like a kind of history, like typically like defensive, like good defensive stuff like that. So I always fuck with like the Ravens Steelers games. Like I love watching those growing up, and I like watching like a good like Bears Packers game.
I just love I liked football the most coming up. Of course, we're in America, but I've learned to. I've lost appreciation for pro sports. I've been more college focused.
College football's better than pro football.
Yeah.
The crowd, just like the whole like one loss can do your season in, like the rivalry games, like it's just the environment. It's just a little different, man. It means a little more to them kids.
Oh shit, my bad, Shy. Whoopsie, I'm so used to it.
Was that an accident?
Who gets the boo first?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Two things. Walter Payton is the greatest running back that ever lived. Barry Sanders is a very, very close second. Secondly, CRT conversation. I've been kind of digging into this for a few weeks. Christopher Rufo is the guy's name. This all started about a year ago when he was going to some anti-race. He would get leaks from people. He's a documentarian and some other stuff, but he would get leaks from people who were attending these Zoom calls for like anti-racism in their corporations, the guys from Seattle. And then he would take these Zoom calls and the information being presented and then frame it in a way that, these are anti-white organizations. He appeared on Fox News last year, and then very shortly after that is when Donald Trump signed that executive order, if you recall, banning all diversity talks and all diversity training in government. And then in March, he had a tweet and he said, I need to frame this discussion to bring out the toxicity and to put everything under the umbrella of CRT. And so in the last year, Fox News has mentioned critical race theory like 500 times. From April to June, they mentioned critical race theory 1,400 times. So this is all part of the midterm election strategy right now to kind of frame everything under the umbrella of critical race theory. But Christopher Rufo is the guy's name. He's done like PBS documentaries and stuff like that. And there are thoughts that he's got some like dark money behind him, but that's that. It was easier to just jump on and say that than it was to try to type it out in the comments. That's all I got.
Did a quick dive while you're describing that name popped, and that checks out.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about like.
All right, now I gotta go because I got a guy fixing my garage door at 10:30 on a Thursday night. So
I appreciate you dropping that info though, because I was wondering. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Brother.
Bye.
Yep.
Good
yeah,
boy.
I would definitely like to do a deep dive into the 2022 strategies. Like,
Crazy, dude.
They're replacing the wall with CRT. You know what I mean? Like, build that wall, a nice simple 3-word chant, CRT. I can see them replacing it. Same thing with lock her up. Now it's going to be another bullshit of whatever the fuck. Take it back, probably some bullshit like that. You guys ever watch Dexter?
Yeah.
There's a motivational speaker in one season. I think it's one of the best seasons is where, what's her name? Julia Stiles is a victim. And this guy named Jordan something is like this motivational speaker. And he goes, you see that car? Take it. You see that job? Take it. It's like, that's what reminds me of, that's what I feel like that's the vibe, this psycho motivational speaker kind of vibe is how they're going to try and approach the 2022 elections, to fearmonger and scare people into voting conservatively when they only have about 30% of the actual backing. And so, yeah, it's, I think that's all they got. Now, the Democrats aren't doing themselves any fucking favors with piss poor policies. If they ended the filibuster,
The Democrats,
that's the fear. Also, they're gonna destroy the filibuster and run this country dry. You know, whatever. That's the fear.
how long have Democrats and Republicans been playing together? Just out of curiosity.
I'd say since the Dixiecrats.
Okay, and then post like what's really changed post civil rights movement, like big picture in the last, like, say 50 years of these two camps playing together?
Nothing since then.
Cool.
Right.
So let's stop talking about the Democrats like they mean anything, and they're the same shit stains as the Republicans. They're not the answer forward. We got to do something different and fuck them.
I want to see. Well, I'm just saying, as far as the 2022 election goes, though, like, I think that's the whole dichotomy for them both. Now, I think what we can do is find progressive candidates that will disrupt. And we still need to. I still will debate that you can change it from within. I hope. It's easier than running a third party until we get ranked choice voting. You know, we really need ranked choice voting really, really bad. Yes, I would like to see every single person lose their elections. Every fucking one of them. All of them. All of them. I don't give a fuck.
Democratic Purge Party is an appeal to all partisan entities and apolitical people, because it's a nonpartisan position ultimately. Because the reality is Republicans aren't happy with their leadership. Democrats aren't happy with their leadership. Clearly, independents and moderates aren't happy with the leadership. And obviously, people who don't vote are not happy with leadership because they're not partaking in the system. Yeah. So all these people can agree that all these fucking corporate insurgents who act like representatives but really just fucking promote the 1% must go. And we can primary the fuck out of them in a 6-year window at 2 midterms and 1 national level, where we get new blood across all levels of government, which will get out of the way of what's blocking a lot of these bills, because we agree on a lot of these things. We just can't get it to get through Congress. So let's get them the fuck out, put real representation in there. Like, we can do it. And here's the thing, here's my plan. If that 6-year window doesn't work, then I turn it up a notch. That's the game plan.
Yeah, so I think that'd be a fun thing to talk like 2022 strategy. Like, as far as I think that, I don't know if I talked to you guys about this, but a strategy I'm trying to look into is, can we break every donation record of every candidate's race with $5 donations across the board that are supporting Medicare for all, supporting like ending qualified immunity, supporting ranked choice voting, supporting term limits, supporting universal basic income. If we can find those types of candidates, okay, what's the record for this people? What's this person's race is? The 5th district of LA. Okay, let's find out what's their record. Let's break that bitch. And this is why. Then I think if you can show them grassroots donors can outcompete and outvote, the hard part is winning the election. You know, so I think that we can do that's, yeah, you damn right. So that's what I'm thinking would be a good strategy, is like, okay, let's have a list of people we're all going to get behind. Say, okay, guys, whoever can do it, let's all donate $5 to this campaign. Bam. You know, and trying to help individuals like Erica Rose, like Reverend Wendy Hamilton, like who else we got there? The guys running against Marcus Flowers in Georgia, Alan Ellison, Phil Ayer, Matt Kevin Puff Rath. Yeah, I wish Bernie would retire when this is all said and done. I wish he would just retire with some dignity. He's going to live long enough now to see himself become the enemy, because he's already people are saying he's a sellout because he's not standing against this, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to try and destroy him before he leaves.
Bless Bernie. I fuck with Bernie hard.
Oh, dude, Bernie's been doing it longer than most of us have been alive, period. So
If anyone like has like, and not that Bernie gets it all right or he has positions I don't agree with or anything, but like if your analysis of Bernie doesn't land somewhere on the positive, anywhere on the positive, it could be like, 50s being like completely neutral. It could be 51%. But if you land like 49% or less, I really don't value what you have to say. Like, I don't.
You don't value people.
You just don't understand the conversation at play. And I don't got time.
Yeah,
I don't got time.
If you look, I like this. I saw someone, one of my Bernie friends said, they shared a video with me they found of Bernie back in 1979 or 82 or somewhere early 80s, late 70s, where he's being arrested for protesting, and he's saying the exact same fucking thing since way the fuck back then. So I definitely think Bernie is one of the goats when it comes to politics that never really got his fair shake either.
You just hit it. Bernie's been saying the same shit. So why do we think working within the same shit will work?
He's not even a Democrat.
Exactly. And he got it. He got it before we ever did. And we still have people today who don't get it. That's the point. Bernie got it decades ago. The Democrats are shit, right? Martin Luther King got it. Malcolm X got it, right? The real movements got it. They called out the liberals. They called it Democrats. We allowed the whitewash version. We allowed conservative talking points to fucking overtake the entire conversation because the reality is liberals and conservatives and their ideology muted the civil rights movement.
Well, why do you think Bernie ran as a Democrat then?
You mean if for president? Because he used to run independently for senator, but so people would take him seriously.
Viability.
Yeah, like
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so that's the problem with the system. Even Bernie can't run for president as an independent. It only works.
He's always been. It's just a label. He's always been the independent. It's just infiltrating. He's just infiltrating the Democrats.
But here's the thing: what happened in 2015? What did they do to him?
They fucked him right out the gate.
So
yep. And in 2020, same thing.
What did they do to Yang? What did media do to Andrew Yang, for example?
Yep.
What do they do to the real anti-establishment figures? Even Tulsi Gabbard. I know people ain't big about Tulsi Gabbard because of some of her takes on like LGBTQ and stuff, but she's unapologetically anti-establishment, no doubt about it, and she does try to work on both sides, like, which I don't fully agree with to some extent. But like, she got shit on too.
Oh yeah. And she kneecapped fucking Kamala and ruined her fucking chances.
Kamala's just not that impressive, in my opinion.
No, that's an easy shot. That's an easy takedown,
It wasn't though. It should have been really easy for Kamala to sidestep that within the moment, and that she couldn't was like, oh, that's all I need to know. You can't even defend your position when representing the state, like within what should be your domain in like a debate type setting. You don't have the quick wit to defend that. You didn't see that coming. That's symbolic of something bigger. You take this shit for granted.
Yep, all of it. That's right. She expected to ride the identity politic wave, which she did, all the way to the White House as the VP.
I mean, I won't go that far myself, but
I think that's the only reason he fucking picked her, man.
I can't fuck with Kamala, man. It's just like wolf in sheep's clothing, bro.
That's the only reason he picked her. Minority female, period. What did she bring to the table? It's not like she brought a state that he wasn't going to win. Yep, full stop right there, isn't it? First of all, it's a stupid pick for Biden. He should have picked someone from the Midwest if you're just trying to win a fucking elections.
Everything that the Democrats did was stupid until death. They won because of a once every 100 year pandemic. If it wasn't for like some fucking crazy ass, like never going to probably happening in our lifetimes event, Donald Trump would be your president right now. Mm-hmm. So why do we think that following these people forward is like the path when they literally just fucking got lucky and backed into this shit? Despite their best efforts. Why do we keep looking at them and being surprised they're not accomplishing things? That's on us at some point. Yeah, I got to get out of here too in a few minutes. Appreciate you being here. Is that Christian?
Yep, Christian. Conafat. Okay.
The Vikings fan, I believe. I saw you. Kirk Cousins. Fair enough. Yeah, I got a few minutes. I got to get out of here in a minute, though.
Myself. Yeah, let's. We stuck around longer than we were going to.
This is good, though. This is one. I went and was a good little post. We have to do is we'll have to have like some like sports chats, like just kind of take the mind off politics every once in a while.
Dude, hold up. The next UFC fight. Let's fucking go live on TikTok.
Ooh, I can have that while I'm like fucking watching the fights or something.
Like we could watch the fights and we can just, or even we can do them both. Who gives a fuck?
No, we can just have the fights on. Just do like a live react, like just like fucking like just shoot the shit. Yeah.
We could do that here. Let's do a UFC panel the next fight, man. I'm always. I got a boy named Russ in Connecticut or Vermont. He's hardcore. He's actually a former Trump supporter that fought like a motherfucker. He moved his family from South Carolina to Vermont to volunteer for Andrew Yang in New Hampshire.
Oh, he saw the light.
Oh yeah,
That's
he was the guy on Fox News, man, that said, "I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Yangocrat. I ain't here for the Democrats." You know, and his channel exploded just from that one fucking thing.
Why I have hope for people though, dude. I used to be a registered Republican, and now I'm like, people think I'm like the goddamn far left. It's like if anyone has an ounce that's open to change, they have a chance. It's just the problem is there's a lot of dogmatic fucks across the board. But
yeah, guys, let's bounce, man. I appreciate you. We're gonna get to work on this video editing and get it out.
Adios, everybody.
Cool, guys. Later. Producer Shy, you're in charge.